There's a story where all the Ninja Turtles are dead except for Mikey, who is out seeking his brother's revenge. The Last Ronin Part 1, let's get into it. Okay, so we start with Mikey sneaking into a tower to kill Shredder's grandson, Oroku Hiroto, the leader of the Foot Clan, corrupt dictator of the city, and the man partly responsible for the death of Mikey's brothers, Casey and Master Splinter. The ghosts of his brothers haunt Mikey and critique his every move as he makes his way to Oroku, but he tries not to pay much attention to them. He steals a nearby bike to get himself to the tower faster, angering the bike gang he stole it from in the process. Once he reaches the base of the tower, he pulls off a stunt unlike anything we've ever seen, launching the stolen bike into a fuel truck that causes an explosion strong enough to blast him into the air and onto one of the tower's vents. After making his way inside, he's demanded to stop by some android Foot Clan security guards, but he pays them no mind and escapes into an alleyway by using smoke bombs. When one of the guards comes searching for him, he drops down on it and busts it up with not much effort, before realizing that the guards are some kind of cyborgs. As he moves along, he's forced to hide in a residential complex, but not for long because they find him, which forces him to throw a coat hanger directly through their heads. After mounting a nearby building, another guard is able to find him, but for Mikey it isn't a problem as he easily outmaneuvers the guard and then throws him off of the rooftop. After that, he leaps aboard the top of a train, only to leap off of it momentarily to hijack a flying police cruiser. Unfortunately for him though, the cruiser flips upside down after its controls are jammed and then flies through a nearby billboard. Knowing that this can't possibly be good, Mikey leaps out of the vehicle onto another rooftop, unfazed after all that just happened and solely focused on his revenge-fueled mission. The story then switches over to the evil clan leader himself, Oroku Hiroto. He's informed that there's an intruder causing a disturbance in the middle district of his tower, so he demands his lackeys to eliminate whoever this is with lethal force, as he will not tolerate insubordination from the lower classes. Going back to Mikey, we see that he's found a port that'll get him closer to the upper levels, so he mounts himself under a nearby police vehicle that elevates him directly into its entrance. Once inside, he pulls off another daring stunt, hijacking another police vehicle and then launching it into a group of guards, causing an explosion. He thought that that would be a big enough distraction to give him enough time to sneak his way to the top, but he was wrong and forced into a battle with a group of guards. He handles them with much ease thanks to his combat skills and some sticky bombs, but shortly after that, he's stopped in his tracks once again by an upgraded guard, but little does his enemy know that these guards won't be enough to stop him, as he is determined to avenge his brothers. After discovering that this intruder is a mutant turtle, Oroku is frightened as he believed them to all be dead, and so in an act of desperation, he commands all his soldiers to come to his aid immediately. As Mikey gets closer to the top, he leaves a trail of bodies behind him on the stairs, but is then forced to battle it out with elite ninja guards. He handles them just as he handled the others, making it clear that nothing will stop him in his path. Oroku then activates his Mausers, a gang of Stockman tech equipped with highly advanced and lethal lasers, but Mikey uses an EMP to quickly dispose of them. Then he's faced with a big one and is surprisingly and finally overcome. The robot is able to overpower him and throw the both of them out of a nearby window. Mikey plunges thousands of feet to what could possibly be his death. When he finally hits the ground, he's somehow still alive, but in rough shape while coughing up blood. He feels that he's failed his family, but won't dishonor them even more so by letting the android guards kill him, so he escapes into the sewer where he takes that matter into his own hands. Meanwhile, Oroku Hiroto celebrates his victory against the mutant alongside his mother's body, who he sustains in a highly advanced tank, but then he is angered after being told that they don't have the body and the mutant is still on the loose. After that, we find Mikey barely being able to walk while constantly hacking up blood. He's disappointed in himself, but his brothers tell him that he doesn't have to go out like this. Looking one last time at the mementos he keeps to remind himself of his brothers, Mikey grabs Leo's sword and positions himself to end it all. But then he is stopped by his own lack of strength before being found by the girl he stole the bike from earlier. After that, Mikey takes a short trip in Turtle Heaven, where his brothers dish out some friendly banter answer before telling him that he's home. But then Mikey sees a bright light and wakes up plugged into some sort of life support, only to find out that his dear friend April is still alive and taking care of him. But sadly, that's when this issue comes to an end, so let me know if you want to see what happens next by liking and commenting down below.